Pleasant, West Virginia, a small town on the Ohio River with an unpleasant, downright frightening past. In December of 1967, the town lost 46 people when the Silver Bridge collapsed into the river. Many here don't blame an engineering breakdown, but a more mysterious force. The legend of the Mothman.
And when I turned and looked, there it was.
Faye Bowen claims she came face to face with the Mothman as she and her brother drove home from a movie.
And this thing jumped on top of the car and squatted down and looked at me and him both right directly through the windshield. I mean, like this close, like that. The biggest, reddest eyes you ever did see.
Faye was 13 years old when her town became terrified of a 7-foot-tall, gray, scaly monster with giant wings. He'd swoop in, usually at night, when witnesses couldn't avoid his hypnotic red eyes.
Terrifying. People who saw these eyes were terrified by them.
John Keel came to Point Pleasant to investigate the mystery that would change his life. Richard Gere plays John in the movie The Mothman Prophecies, a reporter struggling to understand what was happening in this haunted town. The Mothman started making headlines in 1966, and for 13 months, the Pleasant Valley was gripped by terror. Then, most of the sightings stopped. The day of the worst disaster this town has ever known. Some in Point Pleasant believe that the Mothman was responsible for the fall of the Silver Bridge, but other people here believe that it was in this town to warn folks that the tragedy was coming.
Well, the very time that there bridge fell, we would have been on it, because it was around 6 or something like that, and we would have been on, because that was the time we always went over the bridge to go to that store. So it had warned me to keep my family and me off that bridge.
Faye believes she's alive because the Mothman warned her.
There would be mysterious voices.
Hello.
And John says the eerie phone calls his character got in the movie really happened to him. They were terrifying, but may have saved his life.
I received phone calls that these voices would warn me, stay out of West Virginia, don't go back.
Both John and Faye lived to tell their Mothman stories, but other witnesses died within months of the sightings. Others left town. Some believe the Mothman came because of a curse from the Indian chief buried here. Others blame chemical spills from a factory, military contamination at this wildlife preserve, or mass hysteria.
You couldn't actually tack it down and prove anything.
And today the Mothman mystery remains unsolved. Scattered sightings are still reported and feared, leaving some to wonder if there'll be another disaster.